Slumber Party Panic, the first episode of the first season of Cartoon Network's Adventure Time. It begins with a joke about diarrhea.
Let me just add 3 more drops of explosive diarrhea.
It ends with a joke about farts.
Don't squeeze me, I'll fart.
The perfect start to what would ironically become one of the least stinky shows of all time. But what does stink are mistakes. And according to this show's fandom page, this episode's got 5 of them. So now that we're all gassed up, I'm your host, Kurt Circuits, and let's review some mistakes on today's episode of The Toonbot Show. The first mistake reads, Starchy had exploded in the graveyard, but in the scene after Finn suggests playing Blackado, Starchy could be seen with all the other candy people. The explosion in question takes place about 3 minutes 30 seconds into the episode, right after Princess Bubblegum tells Finn that the candy people will flip out if they get scared.
I mean, they would flip out.
Candy people explode when they get scared?
But then, like it says, Starchy reappears about 4 minutes later at the slumber party. Now, although this could potentially be considered an in-universe inconsistency, I don't think Starchy's sudden resurrection from the dead was necessarily an error. In my opinion, a mistake is when a writer or animator unintentionally gets something wrong. And in this case, I think Starchy's death and comeback were intentionally included for comedic effect. And to Fandom's credit, they address this, as they continue with saying, however, this could be a graphic description of what would happen should candy people suffer extreme fear. Although I could be totally wrong about this because at the end, after Princess Bubblegum and Finn revive all the zombies, Jake greets Starchy just like everyone else greets their revived friends.
Uncle Chewy. Grandma. All my dead relatives.
Starchy! Morning!
So maybe Starchy really did die and his appearance in that one scene before they brought him back really was a mistake. Or maybe it was just Starchy's evil twin or something, I don't know. Moving on to our second mistake. When Jake was surprised and the castle became blue, Peppermint Butler is seen without his white color in his tuxedo. The scene in question takes place at about 8 minutes 20 seconds in. And as you can see, even before everything turns blue, Peppermint Butler is in fact without the cute little tuxedo shirt he normally wears. Now in some cases, artists will draw a character with less detail when they're far away or just not the focus of the shot. But considering that they drew Peppermint Butler's tiny coattail buttons in this shot of 428 when he's almost the same distance away, and considering that his tuxedo shirt is missing in this close-up shot of 245, this mistake wasn't even listed on Fandom by the way, I just found it myself, you're welcome. I'd say that this shot here is an actual factual genuine mistake. And speaking of mistakes, here's another one. In the scene where the candy people are entering the castle, if you look closely, you can see Mr. Cupcake's wrapper is brown before the Truth or Dare part comes along.
Whoa!
Hurry, sweet citizens.
All right, you heard the princess. Everyone in! All right, no pushing, come on.
Citizens, we are assembled here in the candy foyer for a momentous announcement.
This scene takes place about 2 minutes 15 seconds in, and yeah, Mr. Cupcake is indeed sporting a brown wrapper despite the fact that we see him in a blue wrapper before and after this scene. And you may have been able to convince me that he just took his wrapper off here because we do learn that he is made out of chocolate later on.
I tell you to take off your wrapper. Everything is great. Except for that. Whoa. I didn't know he was chocolate.
But the fact that when he's unclothed in this scene at 4:53, he doesn't have the wrapper lines that he adds in this scene makes me think that this was just a coloring mistake. Our fourth mistake reads, when Jake runs out of the closet, the jelly donut becomes duplicated. One stays stuck to the door while Jake holds the other. The mistake occurs about 8 minutes and 13 seconds in, and as you can see, there's a jelly donut stuck to the door. At first I thought this might have just been how the doorknob looked, but as we can see in this earlier shot at 6:26, the doorknob does not have the orange donut that appears later on. And maybe he just stuck an extra donut on the door for some reason, but I highly doubt Jake, of all people, would waste a perfectly good jelly donut like that. The fifth mistake from this episode, this is a good one by the way, actually asserts 3 different errors. It says, after all the candy zombies are defeated, Chet is entirely orange, Candy Cane Guy is with no blindfold, and Mr. Cupcake has no arms. And at 8 minutes 9 seconds, we can see that this is in fact the case. No arms for Mr. Cupcake, no blindfold for Candy Cane Guy, and Chet is definitely missing the chocolate top we see him with earlier. Now that's all the mistakes we have for this episode, but hey, if you're able to find any more, let me know in the comments below and I might just feature them in an update. Huge shout out to the fans on Fandom for finding these mistakes, huge shout out to the people who worked on Adventure Time for giving us such a fun show to watch, and a huge shout out to you, the viewer, for joining me today. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see next. This is the first video on this channel and I want to try and make some things that interest you guys, so definitely let me know what you'd like to see. But for now, I'm Kurt Circuits and this has been The Toonbot Show. See you next time!